Hello and mabuhay, this is Teacher GB and today we will have a quick review on significant figures. Your math teacher often asks you to run off the final answer to two decimal places. Let's say you got 8.346 or 8 and 346 thousandths as your final answer in a math problem where 8 is at ones place, 3 at 10th place, 4 at 100th place, and 6 at 1,000th place. And it happened that 4 is at the 100th place. Since we're asked to express it to the nearest 100 or to two decimal places, we always have to follow these rules whenever there is a number next to it. Rule number 1, if the next number to it is 4 or less, we have to retain the number. We have to retain 4. However, if it's 5 or greater, then we have to raise the number by 1. Since the number at the 1,000th place or the number next to it is 6, we need to run it up to 5 by adding 1 to 4, giving us a final answer of 8.35 or 8 and 35 hundredths. That's often the case in math, but your science or your chemistry teacher will more likely ask you to run off the final answer following the rules in significant figures. Anyway, I have another video discussion about sig figs, but for now let's go ahead and discuss the rules on determining the number of significant figures and the rules we need to carefully consider when we deal with basic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, rule number 1, all non-zero numbers or digits like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are significant. For example, I have here 467 wherein there are 3 non-zero numbers, 4, 6, and 7, and based on the rule, this should give us 3 significant figures or 3 SF. How about for letter B? How many non-zero numbers do we have there? Yes, 4. So how many sig figs does it have then? Definitely, it's also 4. And for the last one, how many significant figures do we have in letter C? Okay, we have 2 significant figures or 2 SF because we have 2 non-zero numbers there. Okay, rule number 2. Zeros between non-zero digits are significant. Just take a look at this example, 5005. How many zeros between non-zero digits does it have? Yes, it has 2. And since they're found between non-zero digits, then they're significant. Plus, the other 2 significant digits, giving us 4 significant figures or 4 SF. How about for letter A? Yes, it has 3 significant figures or 3 SF. And for letter B, okay, we have 5 SF or 5 significant figures for that. Moving forward, rule number 3. Leading zeros, the other name for that is placeholders, are not significant. Look at this example. The zeros at the left side of this number are called leading zeros, which as per rule number 3 are not significant. But how about the digits at the right side of it? Do you think they're significant? Yes, because they are all non-zero digits, which based on rule number 1 are considered significant. And since we have 5 non-zero digits there, then obviously it will give us 5 SF as well. Let's have another examples though. How many SF do you think we have in letter A? Yes, 3 sig figs or 3 SF. And for letter B, okay, we only have 1 SF or 1 significant figure for that. The answer is 1 SF. Fourth rule. Trailing zeros to the right of the decimal point are significant. We all know that zero digits that appear in the leftmost of a number, just like this one, we call them leading zeros or placeholders. On the other hand, zeros to the right side of a decimal point in which no other digits follow are called trailing zeros, which happen to be significant. In this example, we have 5 non-zero numbers which are all significant digits plus the other 2 significant trailing zeros that will give us 7 significant figures. How about this example? How many SF do you think this number has? Correct, it has 6. And for the last one, okay, it has 2 SF. Okay, let's talk about trailing zeros again. If the trailing zeros in a whole number have no decimal point shown at the end, then they are not significant. Just like this number, 500, it has 2 trailing zeros that don't have decimal point shown, hence the 2 zeros are not significant. Since it contains only one non-zero digit, which is 5, it will give us only one significant figure. Okay, how about for letter A? How many sig figs does it have? Yes, it has 2 sig figs. And for letter B? Alright, I guess the answer you have in mind now is correct. It has 3 significant figures. How about if there is a decimal point shown at the end of a whole number? Let's have this example again, 500. But at this time, there's a decimal point shown at the end. So, how many sig figs do we have then in that number? Based on the rule that 2 zeros should be significant, and if we include the first non-zero digit in that number, which is 5, we will have 3 significant figures, or 3 SF. Let's try and answer this example. How many SF does this number have? Yes, it has 4 SF. And for this one, oh, you have to be careful on this example. Do you find small dot or point at the end of it? It doesn't have one, right? In that case, rule number 5 applies. And since that one trailing zero is not significant, it will give us 3 significant figures. Okay, let's try how much you understand this lesson. Let's answer this 10-item exercises in 10 seconds. You need to get 8 over 10 to pass this short quiz. You may grab a pen and a paper to write down your answers or just recite it in your mind. Your time starts now. Okay, time is up. Let's check your answer. Alright, I know you're probably thinking that 10 seconds is not enough, but our brain usually works faster and better when it's under pressure. And I think doing this kind of stuff regularly can actually make our memory better, which will give us incredible results in the long run.